No sooner did I mention that Joe Biden is a gaffe machine than he did it again. Just like in his first presidential run, his campaign is accused of plagiarism. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez blasted Democrat presidential candidate John Delaney for not supporting Medicare-for-all, so he challenged her to debate the issue. Guess what she said? Plus, another store gives the law enforcement officer the cold shoulder. All that and more. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-minute news hour.
And God bless the United States of America.
All right, friends, we're out of the studio today, and as you can see, we're in Washington, D.C. on a family trip, but I didn't want to miss the show. We got the Washington Monument behind me. We got the Capitol in front of me, so let's get on with the show. We want to hear from Bottle Breacher. They're our great friends, our great sponsors, and they have a special offer just for you in time for Father's Day. Don't just tell the dads in your life that you like them. Show them with an awesome gift from Bottle Breacher. Just go to bottlebreacher.com, use coupon code Bobby13-A1 for 20% off your next purchase, and show your dad you really do care. That's bottlebreacher.com, coupon code Bobby13-A1. Okay, on to Joe Biden. All right, he's a gaffe machine, and he's at it again. He's all touchy-feely, he says weird stuff, but he also has a big case of plagiarism. Here's the story from the Washington Post. On September 23, 1987, Joe Biden stood before a crowd of reporters and ended his first presidential campaign amid questions about a value he'd worked hard to convince voters he had: authenticity. The collapse had begun 11 days earlier with news that Biden had lifted phrases and mannerisms from a British Labour Party politician while making closing remarks at a debate. Examples soon surfaced of Biden using material from other politicians without attribution, and he acknowledged that he had been accused of plagiarism in law school. To make matters worse, a video emerged of Biden exaggerating his academic record while speaking angrily to a voter in New Hampshire. "I made some mistakes," Biden, then a U.S. Senator, told the press as he announced the end of his candidacy in a speech that was by turns regretful and defiant. "But now the exaggerated shadow of those mistakes has begun to obscure the essence of my candidacy and the essence of Joe Biden." Well, guess what? It happened again. He actually did it again. Now it's the new Joe Biden, supposedly, and he's accused of plagiarism. Here's the story from the Washington Times. The Biden camp said it would add citations to the climate plan released Tuesday after passages were found to match, in some cases word for word, the statements previously posted online by several environmental groups. The blunder gave an opening to Republicans, starting with President Trump, who called it a big problem, while Republican National Committee Chairman Ronna Romney McDaniel said it speaks to his integrity. All right, so as that story mentioned, President Trump, of course, jumped all over Twitter to attack Biden, and here's what he said. "Plagiarism charge against sleepy Joe Biden on his ridiculous climate change plan is a big problem, but the corrupt media will save him. His other problem is that he's drawing flies, not people, to his rallies. Nobody is showing up. I mean nobody. You can't win without people." All right, so he's blasting him. I don't think Joe Biden's going to attract a lot of people, but I don't know if I agree with President Trump about the corrupt media supporting him. As I mentioned in the last show, Joe Biden's a squish. He is a middle-of-the-road Democrat, and that's not who they're looking for. They're looking for the Alexandria Ocasio-Cortezes, the Rashida Tlaibs, the Ilhan Omars. They want someone from the left, and Joe Biden is no friend of the far left. And speaking of no friend of the far left, Democrat presidential candidate John Delaney has gotten in trouble this week for saying that he does not support Medicare-for-all. Now, if you remember on the last show, I showed you a clip from the California Democrat State Convention with former Governor John Hickenlooper, and he was booed for sounding reasonable. Well, Representative John Delaney also took the stage, saying similar type of things and getting the exact same reaction. Take a look.
But we need, as Democrats, to build an economy that works, but it's got to be with smart policies. Medicare for all may sound good, but it's actually not good policy, nor is it good politics. I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
I'm telling you. So he's not a fan of Medicare for all, but guess who is? Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. And after he said that, here's what she tweeted. "Since there's so many people running for president and not enough for Senate, instead of obsessing over who's a front runner, maybe we can start with some general eliminations. This awful, untrue line got booed for a full minute. John Delaney, thank you, but please sashay away. Of course, this gave John Delaney the opening, his 15 minutes that he's been looking for, so he responded with this. Hey, AOC, we've got the same goal, universal health care for everyone. We just have different ways of getting there. Healthcare is the #1 issue for voters, so let's debate the way forward. Any show of your choosing, healthcare is too important for tweets. We need real discussion. All right, so he wanted debate, he wanted discussion. Well, ABC News talked with the Cortez campaign, and here is what they said in answer to this debate challenge. It said, Maryland Congressman's request to debate New York Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez one-on-one on one of the most important issues facing American voters, healthcare, was met with a blunt no from the freshman Democrat's office. Lord, no, said Corbin Trent, communications director for Ocasio-Cortez. I think she said her piece. Trent added that he expected Ocasio-Cortez would continue engaging in the debate around healthcare. So she's going to continue engaging in the debate, but not actually debate. That makes a lot of sense. But this is the world we live in, where it's so much safer, so much easier to throw down something on Twitter and not actually engage with someone. So he came back and said this. At a minimum, we have to be tolerant of different views on achieving the same goal, universal health care. That's why I responded to AOC tweet with a debate offer. This isn't about slogans. People's lives are at stake. We need debates and the truth. So after that, for some bizarre reason, Ilhan Omar, I guess she felt left out, she tweeted, no means no. So I don't get this, folks. This is an important issue. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and her cohorts on the far left think it's important, Medicare for all, so let's debate it. You actually have a few Democrats running for president who think it's not a good idea, to think that massive government takeovers are not the way to go. So let's debate the issue. This is one of her crown jewels in the Green New Deal. It's not just about the environment, remember. It's restructuring the entire economy, means of production, education for all, Medicare for all. It's one of her prime policy initiatives, and she won't even debate it. It's so frustrating, so disheartening, but it shows you the state of the Democrats today. All right, folks, I want to move to an issue that really just burns me up. And we have Barack Obama to thank for this. And that is speech after speech, issue after issue. He went out of his way to cast a dark cloud on law enforcement officials. We saw it time and time again. Every major news story, rather than coming out in favor of law enforcement, even on cases where a grand jury or an actual jury said the police did the right thing, Obama was always wishy-washy, always left people in doubt that the police were corrupt, that they were racist, that they had their own agenda. And the result you saw was people taking that and lashing out at law enforcement officers. We see this time and time again where a police officer tries to go to a McDonald's drive-thru and won't get served. Well, guess what? It happened again. Check this out from The Blaze. A North Carolina sheriff's deputy got the news he wanted to hear from Kay Jewelers in Statesville. The engagement ring he purchased had been sized and was ready to be picked up, and now he could propose. Even better was that the Iredell County deputy was notified about the ring while he was on his meal break Tuesday, so he headed right over to the store to pick it up. But the deputy never got inside. Why didn't he get inside? Because, again, the store manager, acting on his own, decided he didn't want to serve this law enforcement officer. He said, you have a gun, you need to go away, this isn't going to happen. So here's the follow-up. Kay Jewelers is reaching out to the customer and the Iredell County Sheriff's Office to sincerely apologize for the mishandling of this matter, the company told the station. We have tremendous respect for law enforcement, and we thank the office for bringing this to our attention. We'll be sure to reinforce store training of our firearm policy with specific regard to uniformed law enforcement. So there you have it, folks. And these incidents happen over and over again. We see it time after time. People are not giving law enforcement the respect. And like I said before, it goes back to Barack Obama. If these cases, if he would have just stood strong for Ferguson and all these other incidents and didn't, back up his buddy, the Harvard law professor, and say the police acted stupidly, we would not be in this situation now. We would not be where we are now with so much distrust of police officers that have a tremendously hard job to do. and they don't get the support that they need and that they deserve. All right, folks, that's our show for today. We're going to have some more fun seeing the sights in D.C. We're going to probably go up to the Washington Monument, go up inside, check out the Capitol. That's still on our list, but I hope you have a great weekend. Please subscribe, please tell your friends, and make sure and hit that bell when you do. I'm Bobby Eberle. This is a 13-Minute News Hour. Okay, friends, just a little reminder before you go, and no, this does not count against my 13 minutes. Please hit the subscribe button below and tell your friends. And if you happen to miss our last show, you can check it out right here. And also for great conservative news and commentary, please check out GOPUSA.com. All right, folks, we'll see you on the next show. Have a great day.